Hi, welcome back to Lakeside Quilt Making Arts. I'm getting my lights set up so I can trim on my log cabins, and then while I'm doing that, we'll talk. Hang on a second. Light 1, light 2, you probably don't see that one. Light 3. Now I need to put my studio lights on the task because they really make a difference. I have cords. I fight cords all the time. Like I'm constantly trying not to trip myself. It was worse with Zoe in here versus Ruby. I don't know why that is. Zoe was really careful about stepping around things, but she had this tail that stuck up and was wide. It was really fluffy, and she was fluffy. And, she was just, a good, I don't know, Ruby is about 2/3 the size of what Zoe was. Okay, so I'm going to point the tripod and the camera down so you can see what I'm doing, so you don't have to look at my face while I talk. Just do that. Okay, I think you should be able to see pretty well from there. I won't keep us on this for very long because I know we need to move on to something a little bit more exciting than the same topic that we've been talking about forever. And we will, I promise. I want to flatten that a little bit more. I think I need to move. Need to use my I'm going to hit this with an iron one more time before I press it. I think it will make a difference. So one of the things I wanted to say is that in today's video, which will be yesterday's if you're watching this video whenever it gets released, one of the things I realized whenever I was watching it this morning is that, well, actually, I think I maybe realized it. One of the things I realized whenever I was rewatching it while I was editing is that I failed to get any video of the tape that I had put on top of the bobbin cover. I think it's really clever for us to use all the tools we can use to make sure that we get the 1/4 inch seams that we need. At first, I didn't want to fall onto a crutch, which the tape really is, but yeah. It's okay. It is okay. I prefer to have a good consistent stitch, and if I need to use the tape as a straight edge to get it, then that's what I'll do. Okay, I'm trying to figure out what to cut when I've already, this is not wide enough. This strip that's over here is not wide enough, but it's got a bump out right here in the middle, like it fits perfectly there. It's a little under perfect here, but it's got this bump. But that's with my ruler slid over. If I put this mark right on that seam, then it's less perfect. But the important thing was to make sure that the edge is as parallel to the sewn lines as I can get it. That was my last one to put on, so it was important to get that one nice and squared up. And I'm going to be adding to this side, so it's important to get that one as parallel to all the others as possible too. When I put my tape on, I did make sure that it's not a full 1/4 inch. It is a little bit under, and I'm okay with that. If you take it over to a ruler, well, we can look at it. I'll turn one of these over and we can look at it. I just want to straighten this up a little bit. There. The part of the fabric that is not coming out to the edge, I want that to be no less than 1/8 of the way. Too far, how do I put that? I want the gap to be no more than 1/8. So I want to make sure that I bring the ruler over to that fabric edge to where the lowest part is 1/8 of the way, because that I can make up for inside of a seam allowance. and then everything else gets cut away, because just like in any kind of situation where you've got a group of people, even like the weakest link kind of leads, they kind of control the pace at which you can travel, kind of thing. You've heard that about all kinds of things, and it's true about fabric as well. That's a little bit of philosophizing for the morning or the afternoon. I don't know why I said morning. It has been a full day for me already. So we're going to get, as soon as I get all of these trimmed up, which I'm not going to force you to watch, as soon as I get all these trimmed up, I'm going to switch over to working on the blockhead applique. Just going to jump in. I don't know how far I'll get, but I'm going to get started on it. That's the needle that's going to get moved today. I can hear, while I'm inside my house, the sound of a car alarm going off, but it's not a car alarm. It is the sound of the cicadas. My property is really hit hard by the cicadas. I don't know if you've been hearing about the fact that they were coming this year, that we were going to get like 2 different broods that were going to hit North America. And I don't know which ones I have, or if I have more than one brood, but I have a lot of them. And if you're not grossed out by, bugs in general or anything with an exoskeleton, I will play at the end of this video, after I've signed off, a little clip, and I think it's about a 4-minute clip I did walking around in my front yard. I had not inspected my front yard trees yet, and I wanted to do that because when I got home from my errands, I could tell, I promise you, we will get over to talking about quilting stuff, about the applique and whatever. Just while I'm doing this, I'm just talking to you for a second. Oh, that looks good. Oh, this one looks so nice. Yay. Oh, happy with that one. Is this one done? Oh, good. This one's almost done. Well, it looks really good on this side, and this side, almost. It's not perfect. This is going to be a problem. Wonder why I am off here and here. Think I need to, yep, interesting. Anyway, when I got out of my car from running my errands, the sound was just overwhelming. It's the cicadas, and they sound like, a few different car alarms going off. And they don't sound like they're coming, the sound doesn't sound like it's coming from my yard. It sounds like it's coming from all around me, which I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's not just in my yard. My neighbor next door said that she had a lot, but my UPS man said that I have more than any place he's seen. But I think that's just because they happen to be all over my front porch. They're all over my patio. They were. I came home and I sprayed them off my patio, my back patio. They were just the ones on what was on the back patio was nothing but the dead carcasses. They shed their exoskeleton, and that's what was on the back patio. So, okay, just trimming this up so we've got nice straight right angles and parallel edges that are parallel to the seams. This one is completely done. It does not go back over to the sewing machine. It goes on the wall. It is an 8 1/4 all the way around, not an 8 1/2. So even though I made some errors initially and I kept on trying to grow the block, I did make up for some, but I probably should have just started over. I'm so glad I have the tape on my machine now so I can be more consistent. What I did is I made sure that my needle is all the way over on the left because that's where it defaults to. That's good. Just work with it instead of fighting it. That looks good. There's no red in this one. I'm gonna put this on the wall. This one's not been pressed open. Hang on a second. Some of you might remember that I had purchased a hand sprayer for my water hose, and I couldn't figure out how to attach it. And I went today while I was out running errands to try to get the pieces I might need, and I could not figure it out. So I just bought a new hand sprayer since I was there at Home Depot anyway. Came home, sprayed off my back patio, got rid of all the dead carcasses from my side of my house on the back side and away from my steps and that kind of thing, and off of the furniture. Will be interesting to see how many are there by tomorrow morning. I need to paint my furniture because it got really beat up this past winter. But I don't like being out there with all the cicadas. You will see if you don't have a sensitive stomach to bugs, watch at the end and you'll just see how bad they are. You see at first a little bit of the video where I'm just walking through the grass. Now I'm doing that on purpose, which for two reasons. I want to keep the camera off of my neighbors' houses because, I think that's only the fair and right thing to do. And also because I was trying to see how thick the cicada are inside the grass, because in the backyard, you can see the grass moving from my kitchen. And I'm inside right now with all the windows and doors shut, and this house is tight, really tight. Like it doesn't have gaps, and I can hear the cicada outside. 3. This one's almost done. So I've got 3 there, 3 there, 3 there, and I need 1 more here. It's so exciting to get to this point. Just see what needs to be trimmed up. That looks pretty good. That was my last one. So we need to do all the edges that are affiliated with that last one. Oh, it's so coming together. It looks so good. So I heard from Jody. She is so good to give me some tips. I had asked yesterday about how would you go about using the template, the star point templates on that block 18 inside Moda Blockheads applique block. Because if you remember, if you watched it, I had cut out fabric erroneously, mistakenly, accidentally. I had cut out my fabric for, I think it was B and C fabrics, based off using the star templates. And that's not what I meant to do. I did not mean to do that at all. Man, this one is really shy. Ooh, that's not good. Okay. When I say shy, it's shy of hitting the edge is what I mean. It's not hitting the edge on this one edge. It must be because that's the square, the center square that I had accidentally shrunk by taking seams that were larger than 1/4 inch. Anyway, talking to Jody, she had an idea for my question that I had asked in that video. I could not figure out how somebody would take just an individual star point template and applique them down without it looking wonky. Like, I just thought that it's just a recipe for disaster. But she had an idea, because I've told you she's a little bit more experienced than I am. You've seen her collages that she does and her progress on Pick a Petal. Let me go ahead and show that to you right now. Instead of you watching me do this, you can watch her for a second. You can take a look at her progress on the Pick a Petal quilt. It looks so good, and it's so inspiring to me to see her work And don't you love it? Isn't it just like fantastic? It helps me to see that what I'm doing and laboring over is going somewhere really cool and awesome. Besides the photo of Jen's that I've seen for a few months now, seeing someone else's creation and it looks so amazing like hers does, that's awesome. That's really awesome. And I am excited. It makes me excited for mine. Makes me want to dive into the applique for the Moda Blockheads, because that's where I'm going to be learning to make sure I'm doing it right when I get over here to the A Petals applique. I really love these, the color on these log cabins being so deeply blue. Don't you just love, look at that quilt. I mean, I could just look at it all day long. Look at her applique. Yes, it is fantastic. She's done a great job. So clearly, she's been around the block a little bit. Haha, pun intended. Not intended, but I'll take credit for intending it. She's been around the block, the quilting block, a time or two. So when Jody sends me a tip, I'm going to listen. So her idea about if I wanted to use the star point template and create the same look as we have and create the same look that we have on the original that Moda put out, and not have a wonky star. If I want to use those individual star point templates to make a star, 2 stars really, and then a center star. She suggested that you're making, if I understood her email properly, I sent her an email back asking if I did, and haven't heard from her yet. What I think I understood from her message was that you're creating the center star and putting the applique and putting the star points around it, and you're basically creating as one unit the 2 stars with the center star, and then you applique all that down to the backdrop. And that's clever. That's clever. I'm going to have to go back and watch Lisa. Is it Lisa or Lissa with Moda who gives us our instructions? If anybody knows, please tell me. I want to call people by the right names. Because it has 2 S's, I want to think it's like short for Melissa or Alyssa, and that's Alyssa. Like that, it's a different vowel sound, and it's a softer S sound when you have the double S's typically. So I want to know how to pronounce her name properly. So if anybody knows, please let me know. And she's not the Lissa Alexander who is working with Susan Ockett, correct? Does anybody know this stuff? One last thing for me to clear up while I'm doing the log cabins. I probably need to apologize to you guys for being frustrated yesterday. Nobody wants to hop onto YouTube and listen to somebody bellyache. And I really didn't mean to be doing that. When I was watching the video of me talking about the Moda Blockhead instructions while I was editing, I thought about taking it out, because I thought, what value does this have to anybody else? And I thought, no, the value is they need to see that I'm being real, that I'm just truly just sharing my experiences here, and that I'm not trying to falsify my reactions to anybody, that this is a learn with me. This is a learn with me vlog style channel. And if that's the case, then you got to ride the ups and downs with me. And that's part of the attraction of the channel. I wish I had all the skills in the world and I could have a tutorial type channel, but I don't, clearly. And I'm trying to acquire skills. But all I've got to offer you is my journey and my vulnerability. So I wanted to, I pride myself in not getting upset about things, like being thick-skinned, being Miss Pollyanna, being positive, all that kind of stuff. So for something to annoy me a little bit like it did yesterday, I thought, you know what? Everyone probably thinks that I don't show that kind of stuff, and that everyone probably thinks that I have those kind of things and I'm just camouflaging it. Well, no, I don't get there easily, and I don't have really strong reactions typically to most things. But so I thought it would be good if I just showed that, hey, yeah, I was frustrated. I don't like wasting fabric. And I was upset with myself for not really reading and just jumping in. I thought, well, this is easy. I know how to follow these instructions. The trick is just making sure I'm using the right column. Nope, that was not the only trick. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you have to go back and watch yesterday's video. All right, I have 3 of these left. I'm going to get them done really quickly, and then we're going to move over to applique. Okay, this is my status. I have remaining to do 1 that needs 2 more rectangles, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more that just need 1 more rectangle along the outside. I have on the board 9, and let's see, these are about to go on the board, 3 more to go on the board. So in addition to what's remaining here, I just have 1 more to start from scratch. I didn't throw that one into the mix. I'll just do that later. I'm excited, making progress. Check it out. There are 12 of them done. Oh, I'm so excited. I am making real progress, guys. I needed a little bit of satisfaction on this. I talked about that in one of the other videos. I really haven't had, except for month 1 when I did the center medallion, I haven't had that sense of immediate gratification that I've been getting with the Moda Blockheads. And so far I've been getting with the Piece and Quilt Sampler. Oh, those look good, don't they? Can you just see colorful applique popping on that? This means I've got to make sure that all of my applique pieces are nice and bright. I love it. But let's bring up Jody's one more time. And I know you have to use your imagination to see how mine's going to look when I've got all of these light pieces, light blocks around this square. And then where she's got, her log cabins are all in a pretty much low volume white. I'm going to have density, tons of density. And my applique should pop, It's not done yet, so we can't say what it's going to do. But so you've got value reversal is what I've got. And I love what I'm doing, but seeing hers come together really makes me appreciate how, I don't know how to put that. The judgment call I made when I looked at the pattern, looked at the photo of the quilt that was included in the pattern. I saw it getting washed out, and I think it's because, number one, I was just looking at it on a screen, and I was looking at it on printed out on my printer, and I just wasn't seeing the high contrast that I was looking for. But look at her quilt. She's accomplished all of that, and it looks so dang good. So I've got my log cabins. I'm gonna put them away so I can switch gears and work on the applique for my Moda Blockhead Block 18. I need to get familiar with this before my day ends, because if I don't, it's gonna stay as this thing that's kind of dreaded, and I don't want to it would make me probably procrastinate on it. So I need to at least jump in on some level. So let me get myself organized when working on the log cabins. Oops. This one, let me turn this light around. This one was sitting on top of the sewing machine. So if you were keeping count earlier, you're probably saying, Dawn, you're missing one. Well, I was, because it was sitting on top of the sewing machine. So add this one into the mix. It needs two more rectangles and then it will be complete. So I think there was one that was mentioned earlier that needed this many. Making progress, my friends, making progress. Okay, I'm gonna put those on here and move this away. Love design boards, although I've got strings all over mine. If you're doing this without strings, I need to know how you're doing it, because I do strings. Evidently, I do a lot of strings. It's probably partly because I don't starch, and because I wash all of these fabrics, like in the washer and dryer. That's probably it. But I like that, because I like how much a quilt will crinkle up after you wash and dry it, but I don't want it to bleed. And especially if I'm using something that, fabrics that are highly saturated in ink, then the chance of it bleeding is higher. And so those are the ones I really want to wash first. And all of these are highly saturated, most of them anyway. Well, I don't need to turn that off. Okay, let me get this out of the way. I need to vacuum in here too. Okay, where are my instructions? I'm going to sit here and read my instructions off camera, probably watch the video again, and then we'll see where I get to next. We'll figure that out together. I'll bring you along for the journey. Okay, I am going to learn from the little disaster I had with my wool mat last week and protect my cutting surface, which I'm only using because I just want to work at this station right now. It's cleaner than the one in the middle of the room. I have several things out, and like I said, I like looking out this window. It's good. I'm good. It's good. All is good. All right. It is time to do some arts and crafts. This is an invaluable tool. Parchment paper. Is that what I need? No, freezer paper. I keep on getting the wrong words out. Okay. I'm going to pull out a little bit. Hey, little miss, you don't need to be doing all that. That's not good for the sofa. Okay. I don't need a lot of this, right? I just need a couple of 6-inch pieces. Right now, I just need one piece. Let's just... Okay, I need to get my template on this. That's the objective, right? And she said she traced. Where's my template? Okay, I've got, let's do the back star, which is the blue, right? Because I was doing this number. Yes. Okay. I'm going to pull this one out. Just have it handy. Keep these all clipped together while I look at my instructions. Putting these on the table behind me. Okay. I need to use the 6-inch, 12-inch. This is the 6-inch. And it's the B star for the 6-inch block. Hey, no, we don't dig on the sofa. No. B star. Okay. So why don't I just cut this out and glue it to my template? I mean, to my freezer paper. Is that an okay thing to do? Should I go ahead, or does it matter? Could just leave my pattern intact and just do it this way. Ruby is a mess. Okay. I swear my memory for what I watched on the what I just watched on the Moda Fabrics YouTube channel, I've already forgotten. I had to take a phone call while I was watching it. I had to deal with Ruby having some needs. She wanted to go outside. She wanted a lot of affection. I think she's actually hungry, but it's too early to eat. And so it was a lot of distractions. So it was broken up. So I don't have it in my head that well, but I do know that I need to get this freezer paper ready to get down on the fabric. And I got to have this template on it. Okay, that's good. Let's extend. Okay. Oh, that's not going to be far enough over, I don't think, to get all the seam allowance I need. Probably going to be fine, actually. Because you end up having less dog ear to take off is what I think I'm going to have. Oops. Not how that goes, Dawn. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay. Okay. So that's what I cut out. I'm going to go ahead and mark the lines, though. Ruby has a little greenie, and so she's trying to find places to hide it. I'm getting some shadowing. This feels like craft time, which is not bad. I think that's the part of the angst, is that it feels like it's a break from anything that we have been doing. Like any of the techniques that we've been doing. This is just not even a tangent from it. It's a whole new epicenter. Whole new, its own genre. Okay, this is my grain line. This is 6-inch B-Star Block 18 Moda Blockhead 5. Hashtag MBH5. Okay, all right. I cut that out and then I ironed that down to my fabric. Right? I believe so. Tell you one thing I liked about what I saw. I really do want to know how to pronounce the woman's name properly. Lisa or Lissa at the Moda Blockheads YouTube channel. One thing I saw her do just now was to use this glue applicator that was something I hadn't seen yet, and it's kind of an accordion style pump, and it was distributing nice, lovely dots. Like perfect little dots. Do like the preciseness of that. I think that was for the center star that she was doing. I don't know. I have to go back and look. I don't want to talk about it because I can't recall. Okay, so this goes on there, and I'm going to do it so that I have as much room left so that I can maybe get something out of those two sections one day. Try to be frugal. I don't own a fabric store. I have to think about such things. Okay, you probably won't be able to see this. I'm just pressing it off camera. Oh, my iron has to get hot. It's not hot yet. While that's getting hot, I'm gonna go look for a brush. I put my starch, which is 100% starch liquid that I put in here, and then added water. So it's a 1-to-1 ratio. That's gonna be more effective, I think, than my Mary Ellen's Best Press that's in here. Because this is not straight Mary Ellen's. This is probably 25% Mary Ellen's and water. I need to go get a brush. Let me see if my iron's already hot. It gets hot pretty quickly though. While I was talking, it might have gotten hot. I believe it did. I believe it did. It could be a little bit more secure right on those tips. Wait, did I do this right? It goes to the back side, doesn't it? Yep. Shoot. Okay, I gotta go get a brush for my starch. right? Because this is what I do. I come in and I snip it and then I turn it. Hope I'm doing this right. Okay, I see the mistake I made. I should not have included my seam allowance on my template, but I can use it just the same to get my fabric cut down, and then I will take my template off and cut my template down. I shouldn't have added my seam allowance onto the template. I know some of you were saying, gosh, does that girl not know how to follow instructions? She just watched the video. And you're absolutely right. I did just watch the video, and it is a sign of my mind processing way too much. I've been trying to keep Ruby from tearing up the couch while I've been doing this. You don't know how many times I've had to step away while doing this one little thing to keep her from digging into the couch to bury her bone. And like I said, I was very distracted while I was watching. I have a little ADHD. I think a lot of creative people do. I don't know that I'm real bad with ADHD. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it's just because I'm so used to it that I would say that I'm not. But anyway, it is what it is. Yes, I just watched how to do this and I just did it wrong. I hope I have not created muscle memory of doing it wrong. You know what I mean? It's one of the reasons I like to do things right the first time, so it feels familiar the next time that I go to do it, that I know what to do. These are my paper scissors. Why am I using these? There's my Alexa reminding me to feed Ruby. Did you hear it? She eats twice a day. I could leave food down all the time with Zoe and she would not overeat, but this dog would overeat. Okay, so now I'm going to take this off and take down my points, take it down to, my actual size of the template. And then I'll iron it on. I'm having fun now, just in case any of you are worried. I'm having fun. I feel less stressed. Keep on having to remind myself, Dawn, you signed up to learn all this stuff. Signed up for these sew-alongs and blocks of the month on purpose. I did. It's pushing me to learn at a pace that I want to learn at, but it's a pace that I don't think I would learn at this pace if I wasn't doing the YouTube channel and if I wasn't doing these blocks of the months and sew-alongs. So one is a block of the month. That's Pick a Petal. And then the blockhead is a sew-along. And then the quilt the piece and quilt sampler, they call that a quilt-along. Everybody's got their own name for everything. I should be working on the Dandy Star, making progress on that. But tomorrow, when you're seeing this, is when Moda comes out with block 19. So I need to make more progress. Yay, I've got a nice little template. Okay. All right, I'm going to get that right in the middle where it belongs. And then iron that down again. Sorry you can't see it off of It's off of the screen for you guys. That looks like it's right in dead center. Let's put the iron to it. It's going to be a little bit less adhesive on that freezer paper, so I'm going to let the heat really do its job. It's fine. Oops, come on. Just as I said, it's fine. A piece of it curled up. Okay, so I think what I'm supposed to do, I'm going to get my Karen K. Buckley scissors. I'm supposed to cut right into the tips. I think these are going to serve me better. I do have these, which I used to just love back in the 90s when I first got them because they have such a fine tip. I want to experiment and see which one I like better for this. That has such a sharp point. It's fine, but I feel like with these, I can feel the cut. Like I can feel it. Yeah, I feel like I have far more control of where the cut is going. It's gripping the fabric and like manhandling the fabric. Okay. All right. So what I understand that I do now, I'm going to take this off of here and put it onto my cutting surface, my wool mat, because I'm going to have to press. Okay. So I think what they did is they put the starch on it and then pressed that over. Don't want that spilling, so I'm going to keep the lid on it. Can you see what I'm doing? Hope you can. Okay, I'm going to turn that over. I think I could have actually gotten a little bit closer on my cut. I'm going to snip that just a little bit more. Okay. Excellent. Yay. I feel like I'm actually doing something right. What about that? Are y'all proud of me yet? Okay. I'm going to just do all the pressing that I do this way, and then I'll go back the other direction. I am officially having fun because I feel like I'm not royally screwing something up. I think I could use more. My iron is going to be gunky after this, isn't it? You think I've got that iron cleaning stuff? It's beginning to look like it's supposed to look, I think. At least it's uniform. I don't think I'm really screwing anything up right now. There's always room for ignorance, though. Okay, now I need to flip back going that direction. That's going to be more interesting. Okay, that's so cool. Ah. Okay, that is very cool. All right. I might fall in love with this. This is kind of fun. Oops. I get the part of the seam allowance that is on the right side from the other one. So that adheres to itself really well. Don't forget, at the end of this, I'm going to show you guys bugs. So if you don't like bugs, be quick with with your finger. Just stop the video from playing as soon as I tell you goodbye. I just want to be thoughtful to people who are sensitive about bugs, and some people have a thing about anything with an exoskeleton. They may do some bugs, but they don't do anything with an exoskeleton. Like, I have an irrational fear of lizards. I'd much rather have a snake around than a lizard. Well, a non-venomous snake. But, you know, we all have our things. So I just wanted you guys to be forewarned, just in case any of you fall in that category. When my son was growing up, he didn't like things with an exoskeleton. I think that's what's made me sensitive to it. And my irrational fear of lizards. I don't think that's enough. These little 6-inch, well, it's not 6-inch, but the stars for the 6-inch blocks are tiny. It's going to be interesting to see how easy it is or how not easy it is to get that paper out of there. I get such encouragement from you guys. I mean, you send me such kind words. But I bet you there are some out there who are kind of making fun of how ignorant I am about some of this stuff. But I knew that I was taking a risk when I signed up to do this channel. Anytime you're vulnerable, you can get all kinds of feedback. Okay. All of my points look fantastic. Now, I remember that she said she came in and she clipped, so I want to re-watch that part really quickly before I do anything else. I don't want to assume that I know what I'm doing. Hang on. Okay, I just watched enough to see how she clips this. And there, perfect. And then I'm going to go back and watch the next step before I do anything else. Oh, that's looking so good. It is looking so good. I'm so excited. I'm doing something right. I will not say yet that I don't have any mistakes though, because there's still time for that. Little dog ears going in the garbage because they have starch on them. I bet I take that out next, but I'm going to go watch. Hang on. Yes, I was right. And I'm going to do this in stages. This is all she showed me how to do before I turned her off. I take out my template and then I repress my seam allowances down. All of this is done with a dry iron. Really quite surprised at how well the freezer paper holds up for all this. Wonder how this star compares to the C star. This is the B star. Okay, now lay it back down and with the dry iron, press it again. This one had a little bit of the fabric need to be trimmed. Okay, awesome. Okay. Would you look at that? It's perfect. It is perfect. There's not enough light in here for you, is there? That helps, doesn't it? Let's check that out. That's a perfect little star. No, Ruby. No, no. No. Okay, so what's next? I'm going to go watch and find out. Okay. Before I go any further, I want to pull up the template and lay this B star on top of the C star to see what the difference is. Done. So can I just use this same thing? Oh, you know what it is that this one is turned. If the grain, yes, it's the same shape, but with the C star, the grain is going that way. Look at me being observant. I need to be after yesterday. Okay. I'm glad I caught that. Next step here. We figure out what our center is. I'm just going to put a little actual crease in there. I don't trust my fingers to give enough crease that I would see it. Okay. So I want one of my that point to be on the, no, Ruby, no jumping on me. That point needs to be on that line. Do you need to go outside? She just ate, so she may have been trying to tell me she needs to go outside. I try not to reward her for jumping on me. That's 1.5. That should be 1.5 as well. This should be 1.5. Yes. And then these points are a little bit more than 1.5. but it's probably because they're at an angle. Okay, so now I need to glue this down. I just glue. I'm going to try not to get burned, to just use my Elmer's glue here. My washable disappearing purple. And you just use it on the seam allowance. See what happens to that. I'm going to put an iron on that so to try to stabilize this as I'm doing it. Oh, I wish I had my really dark thread. I want to use, is it called the buttonhole stitch? That's what I want to use. I just like the look of that, but I don't know that I want to do that with a contrasting thread on this design. Have any of you used a buttonhole stitch to applique your star down? And have any of you used a contrasting thread? Oh, I know what I can use. I can use my oops, you guys fell. I can use my invisible thread maybe. It may not be as elegant as what she did on her video, but I think it's going to be effective. Look, guys, I did something right. Oh, hallelujah. Okay, so do I put my other star down before I stitch, or do I stitch that? I feel like if I use the same method, if I use this same method on this little, what's this, 10.2, 4, 6, 8, yeah, 10-point star, it's going to be really tedious, and I'll need to use my little bitty iron, the one that's got just a little bitty head on it. I'm going to try that. Stay tuned for tomorrow's video, Thursday's video for that. That's awesome. Okay, I'm going to find out the answer to my question. I've got 30 minutes, so I do have time to do my other one, but I don't want to start stitching in a rush. I don't know my machine well enough to do that. So I'll stitch tomorrow, but I'm going to find out the answer. Okay, so she did stitch them down individually. And this is a little sample of the blue thread that I have in the sewing machine. And it's not too bad on this. It's much lighter, but it really could be worse. It's not glaringly different like I would expect it to be. But it would be fun if I did a buttonhole with green. I've never done a buttonhole. I should experiment on something else. Okay, I am going to fix up my other star template. I'm going to attempt to right now. All right, I've got my freezer paper cut out. Miss Ruby is outside. She's a little bit more rambunctious than normal because she had to spend extra time in her crate because I was gone some today. She's typically not in her crate at all, and she's going in and out regularly. Where's my pencil? I do like, oh, I need a ruler. What am I doing? I do like how it turned out last time that I included my seam allowance on the template, and then I was able to change the template. Does that make sense? I'm marking my points because the line is hard to see once I get my ruler over there. And just connect the dots. With the dots, I can see. I'm going to do this one the way she demonstrated. You know, that's just cutting the template and not including the seam allowance. I hear her outside barking at something. Okay, so this is my grain line. This is C star. And this is 6-inch Moda Blockhead 5, block 18. Okay, yay. Progress. We're making progress. Cut that out. I need to go let her in, I think. Okay, she's inside. She's got a happy belly. She's been outside, barked at things. She's getting water right now. She should be ready to rest for a little bit. What day is this? This is 7th for me, the 8th for you. I'm coming up on a bit of an anniversary. The 12th is the day that I had the surgery to remove all that hardware from the back of my head and neck. Putting that hardware in was a bit of a nightmare. And so I was not looking forward to repeating the surgery to get the hardware out. But this time they put me on a ketamine drip for 5 days, and that helped. It impacted my vision, and then they had to stop it. But by then, the pain could be controlled by regular medication. But getting that hardware out was such an incredible blessing for me. And it not even putting it in was a big blessing, even though I was allergic to it and it had issues. But the whole process altogether was just a big, huge, phenomenal blessing and gift. So I remember the dates of all of my surgeries, the big ones that I've had these past few years. I'm coming up on a big one. May 12th, and then July 12th is when I had the last surgery on my spinal cord. And that was the extra. Oh, that looks so good. Okay, we're ready. Anyway, that was the extra icing on the cake as far as blessings go. Okay, this is ready to go on this fabric. On the back side, Dawn, do it right this time. Oh, and that's our shade of grain, is that direction. Okay, I need to leave room for the seam allowances. Okay. Oops, okay. The doctor asked me before he took the hardware out if I wanted it, and I'm like, no, just toss it. But I wish I had kept it. It would have been interesting. It would have been a good show and tell. I may show you guys some pictures on May 12th. That'll be interesting. Show you an MRI, X-ray, whichever one it is, I forget now, whichever one that shows the hardware, you won't believe it. Okay, let's mark our seam allowances. Where is my, oh, I know where it is. My add a quarter ruler is the one I need. Well, it's the one I want, I think. Yep, it's going to work out all right. Oh, yeah, I like that. How dysfunctional my body was for as long as it was dysfunctional, it's just unbelievable that I'm doing this YouTube channel and functioning the way I am. It's just remarkable to everybody who's witnessed it all too. I deal with fatigue and stuff, and lots of body aches and pains and some dysfunctions, and I have a permanent spinal cord injury that is something that has to be kept an eye on. It brings a weakness to the cord. It runs between C2 and C5, but we don't believe that it is currently the cause of any of the issues that I have. Another big, huge blessing, right? I mean, I do have a little bit of vertigo and stuff that might be related, but I don't think so. I think I'm just blessed that it's not problematic. Okay, enough to talk about that. It's just a big deal for me, so it's hard to not talk about. It was a big, it's a big, huge deal. Unbelievable. And this month, May, is the awareness month for Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I want to get my bigger scissors. So it's a good time to talk about it. On my personal Facebook account, I've made a couple of posts, one last week and one this week. People don't like to hear about illnesses, regardless of whether or not it's a good outcome or not. People just tune it out. It's amazing. If we don't care about other people's health, what does it say about us? And then there's some people who lean in, have been super diligent about being present in my life. Everybody just has their way of dealing with things. But, on Facebook, which is a general population kind of thing, people just kind of get tired of you mentioning it. So I don't do a lot of awareness posts anymore. I feel like anybody who's been following my Facebook for the past few years kind of knows the drill. but I still think it's very valuable to make the awareness posts. It's an illness that few people know about, including medical practitioners. So getting help, getting care, getting treatment is very difficult and generally requires doctors' visits out of state. Have to spend a small fortune going to see doctors and spend extended periods of time in those states after your surgeries and before, and very expensive thing. And then finding those doctors in the first place is just really hard. And then getting care, you have to wait your turn because all the people in the world are trying to see this handful of doctors. Okay, this one is ready. I'm going to clip. I like keeping the points of these scissors. There we go. Anyway, it's something that needs awareness, so I still try to do awareness posts. And I still try to mention it because people suffer needlessly with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and there's some very serious things that go along with it. And like, I shouldn't have a permanent spinal cord injury. If I'd gotten help quickly, I wouldn't have probably. But you don't have an assembly line of expected health care. So you have to kind of, you're out on a limb by yourself. That needs to change. Okay, so we do this. That's enough of the health stuff, I promise. I'm going to do that here. No, I'm afraid it might get bumped and fall over, and I don't want it to spill, so. I'm so excited about this. One last thing about the health stuff. I will say this. If you know anybody who's complaining about a lot of random things health-wise, and it seems really odd and like too much to be true, it may very well be true. And you need to believe the people who are telling you that there's something wrong. There's a lot that we don't know in the medical arena. We may live in the 21st century, but if you don't have some of the real common stuff, you might as well be living in the dark ages as far as modern medicine goes. Living in the dark ages of medicine. So what's going to happen to my iron here? It's going to have starch all over it. Is it going to have to be cleaned? I think I need to get my points a little closer because there's getting a little bit of a bend. The end. Make sure this one's close. I think that one is. That one could be a little closer. Okay. $5:51. I should probably just get this done when I need to stop. I try to start editing at 6. That's as late as I want to start. But tonight, it's going to be a little bit later than that. But I've done everything I need to do before I start editing. I can go fix myself some hot tea or something and just sit down and edit. Looks like it's got a bit of a bend. Okay. So excited about all this. I think I do need to order that carousel of 80 weight thread from the quiltshow.com. Pretty sure that's going to make me happy when I'm doing the A Petal applique, is to have the right colors. I'm going to be happy enough with my blue that I've been working with on this. At least on that dark star. I need to see how my thread will look on this lighter star. I'm really heavily drenching my seam allowance. Is that necessary? If you know, let me know, please. These are so dang cute. The only problem I'm having is I'm having to look down too much, and that's stressing out my neck muscles at the moment. I need to get done. Oops. Doing 2 of these in a row just has been a little bit much on my neck. I have 3 left to do. Last one. Did I mention this is exciting? I say that. It may all fall apart when it comes to the stitching. I may not love it. Dry iron. Yay. Look. Yay, yay, yay. Okay. That is so exciting. This is how it's going to look. Oh, that looks so good. That looks so good. Figure out how to do that. Trying to get my distribution the same all the way around. There. Oh, that looks so good. Happy day, happy day. Yay. Can you see that? Don't want that to spill. Should probably rinse this out. I'll take it to the sink. I think I am set up for success for tomorrow. I have a friend visiting tomorrow, so I won't have a lot of time, but I won't need a lot of time. If all I can do tomorrow, and I'll try to do more, but if all I can do tomorrow is get these two things stitched down and not make a mess, I'll be really happy. Now we'll have moved the needle successfully in such a manner that I've set myself up for success, and I've given myself some positive reinforcement that I need, and some encouragement that I can take this technique and put it on the applique that's needed for the pick a petal. I feel so much better. I had to inch my way into this, you know, each day, make a little decision. Well, and not only because it was something I hadn't done before, but, you know, just life circumstances and all the different things on my plate, all the different projects that I'm doing too, and trying to move the needle on all those things. Like if I wanted to just put blinders on and just do this, it, you know, would have come together a little bit quicker. But I'm glad I took time to absorb the different steps in it and what I needed to do, because it, just like how I made the miscuts yesterday, I could have made more grave errors. It just takes time to process doing stuff like this. So it just takes time to process doing something new, you know? My friends, I'm going to leave you with this. I did it. I didn't cave. I didn't make any grave errors, at least not yet. I am excited with how it turned out. I think they're going to look great. And then, hang on. This is the one that goes in the middle of all that. That's what we're going to be dealing with right there. I love it. I love it. It's going to be great. It's all going to be good tomorrow. It's all going to be fantastic. Yes, positive. Stay positive. I hope you stay positive. I hope you're enjoying your stitching. Thank you for being here and encouraging me and watching. Oh my gosh, all that you guys do to help support this channel by doing the watching and the sharing and the commenting is huge. It helps the algorithm, and everything that helps the algorithm helps me, helps this channel to grow. I think as this channel grows, and especially as my skill sets increase, it really could be a useful channel for the more newbies. And, you know, I think there's value to all of you who have a set of skills and a body of knowledge that's years deep. Just watching somebody else learn and knowing that you have the answers that they're seeking, I think there's value in that. You know, it kind of, hopefully what's the word I'm looking for? It affirms for you where you are and how far you've come. I'm sure you can look back on, you know, where you were a newbie and you were just learning things, and you probably know why this or that was easier for you than what this or that is for me, or that kind of thing. We all feed off of each other, and I hope that there's value for you more skilled practitioners out there. We all contribute to the body of knowledge surrounding the arts of quilt making. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Do you hear that sound? It is the sound of cicadas. It's getting louder every day. We're walking out to the front yard you see the status of the cicadas at the trees in the front yard. Oh, gross. I think it's even worse here. Yuck. My pine trees, which there's like 5 or 6 of those, they don't have any of these. Evidently, there's a few more yards around here with the same issue based off of the sounds I'm hearing. It is loving this tree. That's a lot. Those aren't leaves. I don't know if you've zoomed in enough to tell. Those are all cicadas. Okay, let's go to this other tree. What is this tree anyway? Is it a maple? I think so. Get out of there. Come here. There's a good bit there too. Not as densely packed as on the other tree. Oh my gosh. And I'm underneath this. I am not going to do that. I don't know what kind of tree that one is. Okay, it's not as bad here. Still a lot, but not like the other two. There's a little tree on this other side. I don't see any there. Let's go to this tree. Isn't that sound just obnoxious? I don't see them on this one either. Nope, I don't see them. And they're not in the garden beds, but they're definitely around the door. I don't understand why the attraction to the doorways. Is it there are lights here, but it's not lights on the back patio. Just when I was going to get my flower pots filled, these guys came, like all over the house. Okay, let's go to this other tree. I'm gonna step on you, Ruby. I don't see, there are a few here. I'll zoom in. There's a few, but it's not covering up the tree like it is in the others. The noise is like a bunch of car alarms going off. I hope that is relayed on the video like it is here in person. Hang on, Ruby and I got tangled. Yeah, they must not like pine trees. No, they're on the pine trees too. Sorry about that. They're definitely on the pine trees. They're just not all over the base of them. But they're definitely on the pines too. I'm over them. They need to just go away. So there's how many pines? 2, 4, 6, 7 pine trees. But yet they're picking the maples and the oaks.